So I'm here with Chantalle.
Hello.
Just finished her first year of Sequential Arts.
I did.
At Max the Mutt. How does it feel to have finished?
It's kind of a relief, and then it's kind of not, because it's like, oh, you can't stop. You have to keep drawing. So over the summer, I have quite a bit of work to do, but I definitely have a lot of work to do in the ways of art anyway. So I'm gonna keep drawing.
That's good.
I guess they tell me I have to. So that's all I'm gonna do. But yeah, no.
Can you give us like a brief background of where you come from and how you got here?
Sure. Oh goodness, you're in for a long haul. I'm probably one of the older students at Max the Mutt. I'm older, kind of. I'm 26 years old.
Yeah.
I've been working pretty much ever since I was 13.
Yeah.
I have I have about 10 years background in business, and I also have post-secondary education in public relations.
Okay.
Kind of came to the school because I had always said to myself, and I'd always said to my mother, I wanted to go to art school, and she was like, I follow your dreams, but maybe go into something a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
And I've always been a writer, and I've always loved the idea of comic books, because when I was a kid, my father was very much the artistic one, and my mother was very much the business one. And so he would take me to the AGO, and he would take me to a whole bunch of art galleries when I was a kid, and so I gained an appreciation for painting. And so written stories and art have always been a really big part of my life. And I decided, I had been working with my mother's company for about 10 years, and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. So I was actually getting art supplies, which now that I've been here for about a year, it's like, wow, I bought the completely wrong things. I wasted so much money. But I saw there was actually a postcard for Max the Mutt, and I picked it up, and I had actually heard about them when I was like 14. They had a TVO spot back when TVO was a big deal. And so I called them up, and I set up a meeting, and I decided this was something that I was going to do. So here I am. That's kind of my life in a nutshell.
Cool.
Yeah.
What have you found the result to be since you've been here?
Well, I'm not the most artistically inclined person, let's say. Like I said, my artistic background is kind of mostly in writing.
Yeah.
But that being said, I found that life drawing is hugely, hugely, hugely important. And the fact that you get so much of it in your first year is amazing. I've had a really great experience so far, and my skills have definitely grown like exponentially, I would say, especially when it comes to composition and dealing with a page and having to formulate it so that it pulls your eye in certain directions. So my skills have definitely, I've trained myself now to not say the word talent. Yeah. Because this is all skill. It's all being built from the ground up. And even if you don't know anything, like I did, you can come here and learn everything you need to learn in order to develop that greatness. So, yeah.
It's awesome. Has there been any other benefits?
Yeah, I'd say... See, I'm somebody who I like to think that I look at the world in a deeper way. I don't like taking things for face value. I feel like that kind of cheapens the world that we live in somehow. And I think when it comes to visual art, being able to walk around and have an appreciation for all kinds of beauty, particularly in the city. And I don't live exactly in the most aesthetically pleasing part of the city, like King of Bedford. But being able to see, beauty in simple little things. And details in simple little things, especially when you're in sequential art like me, you need to be able to put these real life, especially urban details into your art. And it's an exercise in observation. And I'm really enjoying that aspect of it so far. Also, when I do look at art now, or even when I'm watching a television show or anything, and to be able to pick out how things are drawn or pick out composition and know why they've done certain things that they have, it kind of blows my mind that I know this now. Or when I see a movie poster and I'm like, oh, it's a dark thing on a white background. Like, it makes sense to me now. So, there's so many benefits, and it's weird because I'll be talking with some of my non-artistic friends, not non-artistic, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And I'll, tell them some of my little tidbits of information. They're just like, oh my God, that's amazing. I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really smart. Yeah. So.
Very nice. Would you recommend Max the Mutt to anyone?
Oh, absolutely. I think anybody, particularly the workshops, because if you're not in this for the long haul, or you don't necessarily want a career in art, but you want to pick it up as a hobby, I think the Learn to Draw workshops are definitely a great idea, because people tend to have a little bit more time in the summer anyway. to be able to kind of come in and learn about life drawing, which is, you know, if art and visual art is a house, then life drawing is its foundation. You need to have that before you can really move on to drawing people, which the majority of people like to draw. They like to draw other people, particularly if you're like sitting in a coffee shop or something. I see people doing that all the time. Yeah, you can self-teach yourself that kind of thing, but it's just not the same. There's some faculty members at Max the Mutt who just do an amazing job of explaining the kind of visceral feeling you're supposed to get when you're doing something like life drawing, particularly when you're gesturing and you're having to move and you're having to exchange energy type of thing with the page. So yeah, no, I would definitely recommend workshops for sure. If you don't want to pursue this as a career, if you want to pursue this as a career, my advice would be to establish really what it is that you want to do, because people will go into programs that they're interested in and then realize a couple years down the road, oh, maybe I'm more interested in this now. You can switch, of course, but getting a foundation of that it really starts in the first year, you know. Like Sequential Arts, they start you off with like Dave Ross and you speak to Kent once a week and you get that background in comics, whereas if you kind of miss the first year and then you trade over, you've missed that. And, you know, you have such an opportunity to learn every day. So half of this is actually drawing and practicing, and the other half is talking and learning. And I think, because, you know, some art students tend to be more on the quiet side, but I think being able to kind of come out of your shell and really talk to people and really learn and absorb from other people and share other people's interests, it's worth its weight in gold. It doesn't have any weight, but tuition is like nothing compared to what you'll actually get out. So yeah, no, I definitely suggest a whole bunch of people. I would love to see more people here, definitely.
Any final words you'd like to add?
Yes. I love the people here. Like I had said, you know, half of it is about talking, but the relationships you develop here, like everybody in my class is friends with one another, and you know me, I'm like kind of the event planner, so I love to have people over to my place, and like last day of school, we all watched Avengers movies at my house, or we're always going out and doing something, or we're going to the zoo and we're drawing and we're spending time together, and you develop a sense of family. And I didn't have that at my old college. It was kind of cliquey and whatever. So yeah, the sense of community that's here, and the realization that you're probably going to end up working with some of these people later on down the road. So to be able to facilitate professional and personal relationships is something that you don't see a lot in schools nowadays, but you see it here, and that's a good thing.
If you're curious about learning more about the school or pursuing a career in animation, concept art, or sequential art, click on the blue link that the red arrows are pointing to in the box below, or go to www.bestschoolsforanimation.com. If you haven't watched the first year open house video, click on the large thumbnail below. To watch more interviews of students, click on the thumbnails of the students.